Hey everybody, welcome to Saving Greens Homestead. My name is Keisha, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I welcome you. You guys, I am in Southern California in the high desert, and I am preparing for a garden tour that I'm putting on this weekend. And you guys, I wanted to just jump on here and show you just a small little update video of things that I have going on. After this weekend, my garden is going to look a lot different. So I just wanted to give you a last look. And I brought you over here to my irises because I don't know if you guys remember, this one was the yellow iris that was really pretty. And then I had that orangey coral color iris. And then moving on down the way here, I had these purple ones, and I have some photos to show you of these. This one was really pretty. But then I noticed yesterday that this one opened up, and look how pretty that is. Look at the colors. It's like a rust color. I can't remember the name of it. I'll see if I can find the name and put it on the screen for you guys, but I definitely wanted to show you that. I mean, there's other buds that are coming up too, but I wanted to show you that in particular. So I got this garden tour coming up, and you guys, my garden is a hot mess, as you can see. And when I say hot mess, I mean a hot mess. And the reason why it's a hot mess is because it's been hot. We've been in the 90s for the last week, and this weather is just cooking all of my lettuces. My peas are not liking it. You can see that in the back there. The peas are definitely not liking. I don't think it's so much the heat that they're not liking, but the fact that they're being covered over by this huge, monstrous radish. And you see all the seed pods on it. This thing is putting out a whole bunch of seed pods. And here's the base of it. But these huge radishes are drowning out my peas. So my peas are not loving it at all. I planted this roselle. So hopefully it'll take and not be too messed up by this heat. The roselle is a hibiscus, and a lot of people make like teas and juices and stuff from the flowers. And so yeah, I put it out here because they're supposed to be able to withstand a lot of heat and love the heat. So I'm hoping that that is true, because out here there's no mercy. In my front yard garden, there's no mercy at all. I was busy doing Mother's Day brunch over the weekend on Sunday, and I didn't get a chance to water all weekend. And well, I have some casualties. This tree died. It's all crispy. And I was going to be giving away a lot of these hollyhock seedlings, but I don't think that's going to happen, because like this one survived, this one survived, this one survived. But for the most part, all of them are crispy, crunchy. They died because they didn't get watered because the sun is harsh. All of my stevia little plants and my sunflowers that I was going to transplant, and I'm going to show you where I was going to transplant those, all dead, all crunchy. 2 days of not watering it. When I say I live in a desert, I mean I live in a desert, you guys. We do get really cold in the high desert. Oh, look at this one that survived. But all the other ones are crispy. We do get cold up here, but for the most part, we're hot. And we'll hit triple digits soon. And when we get to those triple digits, then everything in this front yard garden has to love the heat. and if not, it's just all gonna die. So you see, this bed at one time looked really nice and pretty, but a lot of things are crispy now because of the heat. So I planted these lettuces for my tortoises, but also to help shield my strawberries. And I knew that once the heat set in, they were no longer gonna be able to shield my strawberries effectively because lettuce doesn't like the heat. So I planted melons all throughout this bed. And so a lot of them germinated and are coming up, but they're still not big enough yet to cover over and protect my strawberries. They will get there though. And when they do, it'll be just like last year when they were able to protect my strawberries. And that's why my strawberries are so healthy and stayed good. So I have a lot of strawberries on here, fruits. But I know that there was some bigger fruits on some of these other ones. I'm trying to see if I can find them now so I can show you, because I'm gonna be out here snacking on them. Oh look, if they're still good. Oh, the bugs got to that one. Look at that. I waited too long. There's some more of those melons. Here's this one. He's just not ready yet though. There was some other big ones. I bet the birds got to them. That was another reason why I had these covered, shielded by the lettuces, so that the birds wouldn't see the strawberries all that well and just demolish them. Because if you've grown strawberries, you know the birds will beat you to it every time. So I'm gonna have to worry about that now when I go ahead and get this bed cleared. So I'm gonna be clearing out a lot of these lettuces today. And like I said, I have that garden tour coming up, and this bed is just gonna look miserable because look how pretty that is still. It's gonna look miserable because I'm gonna have a lot of stuff pulled up out of here. My ranunculus are done. I didn't even deadhead them so that they would continue to make flowers. And I know that's something that should be done. I just didn't do it. I have been so busy. And so definitely my tulips are done. And I knew this was coming. So that's why I planted the melons. If you guys remember my garden from last year, this particular bed from last year, I had, it was just cascading vines of melons that filled this whole bed. And so I'm hopeful for that again. Some of these empty spots where I'm pulling out the lettuces, I'm gonna have to plant some more seeds of melons. But for the most part, everything is doing its job. My strawberries are all looking good, but they're not gonna be looking good once those triple digits hit and there's no shade. Like this tree, although it's pretty and it's still alive, it's not filled in yet. I just planted this last year, and so the shade from that tree eventually will help with whatever I have growing in this bed. But right now, this is 12 hours of sunlight. I guess it gets, the sun rises at 6, so 12 hours plus, we'll say, of continuous sunlight. And so look at that. And so I just ooh, there's some big strawberries. I didn't see those down in there. Look at that. So it's brutal in this front yard garden. It's very brutal. I was gonna put those sunflowers over here because some of the spots I've transplanted some of the sunflowers that had extras and singled them out. So like this one, I planted like 4 sunflower seeds in each hole. And so I just took the extras that was in here. And so a lot of these are now singled out because I took the extras out and I transplanted them in some of the holes that the seeds didn't come up. And so, like this one down here was a transplant. And he struggled for a little while, but he regained. He probably won't get as big or tall, but he's still alive, so I guess that counts for something. These grasshoppers, you guys, has eaten almost all of my zinnias that I planted in here. I had a whole bunch popping up of zinnias popping up, and now I'm down to just a few here and there. Oh, my watermelon is doing good. These grasshoppers, I have to keep reseeding stuff because grasshoppers, there's a lot of them around. And so I'm looking because this is watermelon, but this isn't. This is something different. It might be some kind of melon or watermelon, but it's growing underneath this. I don't know. Yeah, you can see the outline of them growing underneath the cloth here. It's the same as what these are. It's the same as what these are. So a lot of my volunteers I like to leave because I want to see what they're going to look like or what they are. So, but anyways, going all the way down, I have a good steady growth of sunflowers coming up. I reseeded these watermelons, and it's still too soon for those to be popping up that I redone. So, and then this right here, I think these are squash. I thought these were melons. These aren't melons, these are squash. So this isn't something that volunteered from my stuff. I think some of the seeds were in the super poop that I put here. Because there's some in the my bed in the backyard too. And I was thinking, well, maybe it's because all those melons, I put all the melons and watermelons and all that went bad up here, I just put those back into the ground here. And so I was thinking maybe those was popping up, but I didn't have any squash out here, just watermelons and melons. So I'm thinking that is from the super poop, which is fine with me. Oh, look, one of those watermelon seeds is sprouting. Well, that's encouraging. That's really encouraging. I guess those 2 days of me not watering didn't do too much damage over here. I guess it's still hanging in there. Now, when I stepped over here, where'd he go? There was a grasshopper. There's been a whole bunch of them, and baby ones. Oh, you won't be able to really see them. Okay, so he's that one right there. That's a grasshopper. He just flew up from me stepping over here. And you guys, there's that sugar cane that I started in the sand. It's doing good. It's starting to take root, I guess. So I'm excited to see how all of these sunflowers are going to look once they all start growing tall and maturing, filling in. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys. I am going to show you guys my backyard. Everything is a hot mess, like I said, though. And so I know a lot of people are excited to come and see my garden and see how good my garden is. And look, this is my garden right now. It's just a mess. So my kids and I are going to be back here and we're going to be cleaning up stuff. I haven't planted anything in the ground. With the grasshoppers eating everything and the weather getting hot and me being busy doing other things, I just haven't had the time. Look at how pretty these chai flowers are. Oh my goodness. Look at those. And then that's that borage. So I guess there's really no true excuse. It'll look nice, or at least presentable, come this weekend. But for now, what do you have on your face, Sonny? But for now, this is what it is. So you guys, I made other videos about me putting together these beds and putting weed fabric. I have an experiment that I'm working on with the weed fabric right now, and so I don't think I'll put that on this video. I think I will talk about that some more in the next video when I start planting stuff out in these beds. But right now I'm just gonna get this yard cleaned up and cleared up so that when people come, they won't have to step over or step on or trip over things. And I'll get it all cleaned up. I have all my seedlings over here. I was gonna sell them, but what usually happens on tour day is I'm standing out in front of everybody, greeting everybody, hosting it. And then I have my separate garden hosts, which is fine, and they're very helpful, and they take over and they do that at their house. But overall, people are asking me questions and talking to me, and so I'm trying to facilitate that, plus keep everything going and organized and you know, moving in a steady progression. And so I'm not gonna have time to sell my seedlings. I'm gonna announce it, but they're gonna have to come back and buy them another time. So let me show you this hollyhock flowers that opened up. Look at those. They're so pretty. I feel so bad because I want to cut some of these away, but just a wall of hollyhock flowers right here will look so pretty. Sonny was going after that grasshopper. Go on, kitty, get them all, eat them all. But anyways, you guys, you know, one thing I want to do is I just want to be transparent with you. And I was thinking about this, and I was talking to some people about it, that I'm gonna have this garden tour, and people know me, especially from the garden groups on Facebook that I'm involved in, and I post on there a lot, photos of stuff, and all the time I hear people say, oh, your garden must be so beautiful, and I wish I could see your garden, and can you give us a tour of your garden, and oh, it just must be so amazing. And it's like, and I come out here and I look at this and I'm like, well, you know, it is amazing in the way that there are some really good parts about it that are beautiful and that are really nice, and they stand out and are commend-worthy. And then there's like process of, you know, me gathering stuff for, you know, to additions that I'm making to it, and creativity. And then there's me doing construction and trying to correct some issues and stuff. And so it doesn't always look beautiful. You know, somebody out there besides me needs to hear this today, and that's why I'm showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly. That, you know, gardening doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be magazine quality even. It doesn't have to be any of that. And a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to, oh, I gotta have these beautiful flowers, and then we get so devastated and so discouraged and ready to quit because the bugs ate my flowers up, or the flowers didn't grow like they were supposed to. They didn't look like the picture or whatever, and we get so let down because we have these high expectations and these high standards that we set, and then we get so let down when it doesn't happen the way that we think it should, or it doesn't look like the neighbor's yard who seems to have it all together and it looks pristine and just so glorious, right? Well, sometimes things are a work in progress. And with gardens, you can take your time. It doesn't have to be magazine quality or award-winning garden from the start. You can take your time and build it to what you want it to be. Now, I had to recently let go of this dream of having my pond right here because I love those aquascape ecosystem natural ponds, and that's what I want. And they cost a lot of money to do. And so I made the decision to go on ahead and cover that hole that I dug. It took me months to dig that hole, by the way. It took me months to dig, and I did it. And but my point is, I had to say, okay, well, that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to go with something different so that I can have a whole complete garden, and just make it out to be the best that I can make it out to be. I joined YouTube and started making videos for two reasons: so that my kids will be able to look back and be like, hey, that was my mom when she was doing this and whatever. And that's why I made the Foodie Friday videos. Look at this guy. He's just rolling all over my feet. But also the Foodie Friday videos was so that they would have a record of my recipes and stuff. But the second reason was so that I could make some extra money on the side, because I figured I could then pay and buy my pond eventually with it. And, well, it's not happening exactly that way, because there's a lot more to it, than what I was thinking. And creating content is not that easy. You'd think, oh, well, I just have to pick up my phone or pick up my camera and just go out there and record and post, and that's it. But it's not that simple. There's a lot of things that I like, moments where I lose my train of thought, or I get distracted by something, and then I have to edit that stuff out, and edit if it's just boring rambling that I'm doing, or just whatever. And so it's not that simple. So I had to let go of that dream. But you can take your time and plan out and plot out and pour all your love and all your everything into your garden without having to break the bank or be under any pressure. I absolve you from any pressure that you might feel to keep up with the Joneses. I'm just looking at all my pomegranate buds and blooms. Oh, I'm excited because I'm thinking I'm gonna have a pretty decent pomegranate season. I'm just now seeing these. Just one weekend away from my garden, and I'm discovering so many new things. There's many reasons why I love to garden now. Not only does it put me closer to God and nature, I can come out here and I can relax and think. I can pray, I can dance, sing, worship, and have, you know, a really good time of being out here. Let me help you out, kitty, because you're just going to keep doing that. Here, I'm not trying to love on you. I'm trying to get that out your mouth. He's so adorable. But this is my unwind spot. This is where I love to come out and, you know, just open my heart to God. And there's so many life lessons in gardening. That's what I was thinking about, the lesson in this hot mess of a garden that I have right now, and that it's less than perfect, and how it's just like real life. There's a lot of things that we see that look like fantasy gardens. You know, looks like everything is perfect, and there's nothing perfect. No one is perfect except for Jesus. He's the only one I know that's perfect, because I know I'm not perfect. But life can be a mess, and sometimes we might look nice. We might dress nice. You might have that neighbor that always have name brand clothes on and look good, you know, and then look at this butterfly. Or their house is always immaculate, and then you feel like, oh well, I must be a bum because, you know, or a slob because my house is less than perfect. It's not, you know, it might be neat, but it's not spotless, you know, or it's not, my yard isn't clipped and looking, you know, perfectly manicured like my neighbors or whatever. But you don't know what they could be going through in their life that is not perfect, because we all fall short. And yeah, they might have their outside looking really good, but they could be having some real struggles on the inside that you don't know about. And so it's hard sometimes not to measure up, compare ourselves to other people, but we do ourselves a disservice when we do that. There's some life lessons in gardening, and there's things that I notice that speak to me, and I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah, you know, my garden isn't picture perfect right now, but it's not always going to be this way. As long as I continue to progress and strive forward, then, you know, that's what counts. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged because you're seeing other people, what they're doing and how theirs look, and yours doesn't stack up to theirs. Don't do that to yourself. Just keep pressing forward and progressing at your own pace. Whatever pace you have that you can do it, then you set your pace. Financially, how much money you're going to put into it, you set your own pace and stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Because the Joneses don't be paying for my stuff. And that's my encouragement to all of you new gardeners, and even some of you experienced ones. Get out and enjoy just being in your garden, being in that moment. Enjoy the butterflies flying through, the birds chirping and everything, and enjoy what you have at the stage that you have it at, and just keep progressing. Just don't give up. Just keep trying. Just like in my front yard, I have to keep replanting seeds because of these dang grasshoppers are all over the place. But I keep planting them seeds because eventually the grasshoppers will get tired or full. So anyways, you guys, that's just my encouragement for today. I just wanted to show you that, and it did turn out to be a little bit longer video than what I had planned. And I just wanted to sit out here and just share a little bit of my heart with you. I am gonna go and clean up this yard to get it, it won't be perfect, but just to get it at least safe, so people don't be tripping over my rocks and roots and rakes and stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching this video. And if you made it this far in this video, I really appreciate you. And you guys, I promise this garden is only going to get better and better and look prettier and prettier as I progress with it. So I hope you plan on sticking with me and watching the progress as it develops. So, oh, look at Cornelia decides she's gonna come out now since she hears me talking.